I've been feeling all alone in my feelings, yeah, hard, strong. No sleep, anxiety. No sleep, anxiety.
So apparently I cannot uh, render video and live stream at the same time. Now I got to figure out which one of me is me. Which me is me? This me is me. There I am. So as I was saying, apparently I cannot render video and live stream at the same time. I'm not sure why, what one has to do with the other, because one is hardware and one is internet. But hey, apparently they don't get along. So let's see if we can get some more info about the shooting in Maryland. I was hoping I could get some live coverage. This one is 3 minutes ago. Let's see what they got going on. 3 killed, 1 hurt, and a trooper is also injured.
I'm Leon Harris.
I'm Sean Yancey. It is a story we've been following since.
And right now on News 4 at 6, 3 people killed in a mass shooting at a workplace in Maryland. I'm Leon Harris.
I'm Sean Yancey. It is a story we've been following since it first broke before 3 o'clock this afternoon. It began at a manufacturing business in Washington County, Maryland, and it makes the town of Smithsburg the latest community in a long list of places recently touched by gun violence.
Smithsburg is just over 60 miles north of the district, not far from Hagerstown. We've got team coverage for you tonight with Chopper 4 in the air and News 4's Darcy Spencer on the ground. Darcy kicks our coverage right now at this point, this hour. Darcy, what have you learned?
Well, Ann, we just wrapped up with a press conference with the Washington County Sheriff's Office just a few minutes ago. If you can go ahead and roll some video while I'm providing this update, the Sheriff's Office is confirming information that we have been reporting that a total of 4 victims were found there at that business Columbia Machine here in Smithsburg. They're not telling us exactly where these victims were found, whether they were inside or outside of that business, but they did receive the call right around 2:30 this afternoon for a report of an active shooter, and that's when they came here and found those victims. But the suspect in this case had left the scene here, and so a description was provided for that suspect, and he was later located about 5 miles away from here at a second scene where there was an exchange of gunfire between that suspect and a Maryland State Police trooper. Both of them were injured in that exchange of gunfire, but the suspect has in fact been taken into custody. We did ask a lot of questions here to try to get additional information about what this may have been about, what kind of guns may have been used, who in fact was injured, who this suspect is. Right now, we're not getting those questions answered. They say it's very early in this investigation, but again, 4 victims, 3 of them dead. The other victim, we're told, is in critical condition. The Washington County Sheriff's Office is investigating the initial scene. Maryland State Police, they're in charge of the second scene, and they're also getting help from the FBI and the ATF. Let's hear a little bit of what the spokesperson had to say.
Units immediately responded and located 4 victims, 3 of which were deceased at the scene, and 1 who was critically injured and transported. The suspect fled the scene prior to law enforcement's arrival. The description was quickly released to the additional responding units, and the vehicle was encountered by a Maryland State Police trooper. And that encounter happened in the area of Mapleville Road and Mount Etna Road. Gunshots were exchanged between the suspect and the trooper. Both were injured and transported for medical treatment.
So there's still a lot of work for authorities to do here to try to figure out what exactly happened, what motivated the shooter to go to this business at 2:30 in the afternoon, shoot those folks, take off, and then again be injured in exchange of gunfire. They're promising to give us additional updates later on this afternoon. We'll continue to follow it. Back to you.
Darcy Spencer. Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you, Darcy. Now let's get out to Chopper 4, which is at that second scene about 5.5 miles away from the workplace.
This is where the gunman got into that shootout with the Maryland State Police trooper, and they took the shooter down. Brett Freitas is in Chopper 4.
So
Brett,
now we know what's up with the cars.
explain your scene and what we're looking at right now.
Well, Sean, I think it's important to mention that this is on Mapleville Road, only about a mile north of Route 70, and that is the southbound lane headed towards Route 70 of Mapleville Road, where the state police officer encountered that vehicle and engaged that shooter. Now you can see in the center of the screen there, that reddish vehicle has several bullet holes in the windshield, as well as broken glass next to the driver's side door. The gun that was seen near the double yellow line has since been removed. But again, this could have turned out much different if not for the quick response by law enforcement. As this vehicle was only about a mile from getting onto possibly Route 70, we could be dealing with a manhunt or at the very least some more injuries here. So that's the very latest from high above Hagerstown, Maryland. This is Brad Freitas reporting live from Chopper 4. Sean and Leon, back down to you.
While the first hearing will be tonight, as we all know, you will.
So now we know what was going on with the vehicle. Helicopter kept paying so much attention to those. Thankfully, they did take him down. I mean, considering that he was only a mile from getting on the freeway. That definitely could have gone all wrong if he had managed to get on the freeway. Or she, I don't think they said if it was a male or a female.
Today at approximately 2:30 p.m., the Washington County Sheriff's Office responded to Columbia Machine Inc., which is located at 12912 Bickle Road, Smithsburg, Maryland, for reports of an active shooter. Units immediately responded and located 4 victims, 3 of which
We just heard what she has to say, but I'm gonna play it anyway so we can see what comes after.
the suspect fled the scene prior to law enforcement's arrival. The description was quickly released to the additional responding units, and the vehicle was encountered by a Maryland State Police trooper. And that encounter happened in the area of Mapleville Road and Mount Etna Road. Gunshots were exchanged between the suspect and the trooper. Both were injured and transported for medical treatment.
Okay, I got one more that I want to pull up. I'm really just searching for information right now for the most up-to-date details.
Well, they kind of just ran us through some preliminary information here. They said that the shooting happened at around 2:30 this afternoon at Columbia Machine Inc., which is not too far from where we're at. The press briefing happened right here at a park. They said that when police got there, and this is off of Bickle Road, they said when police got there, they found 4 victims. 3 of them are dead, and 1 is in critical condition. They said that the suspect actually fled after that shooting, and they were able to put out a description of the suspect and the car that they were in. Now, just a short time later, a Maryland state trooper was driving around and they noticed the car and they were able to intercept that car. And in the meantime, some kind of gunfire exchange happened between the suspect and that Maryland state trooper. Both were injured and both are at the hospital right now. Now, police did not give a description or say just how serious the injuries are. I know that Governor Hogan, he actually spoke about the shooting a little bit earlier, and he said that the trooper was shot in the shoulder. Police here did not say where the suspect was shot, but again, they said that we have 3 people that are dead. We have a 4th victim a 4th victim that's in critical condition that was injured at that manufacturing plant, and then we have the suspect and a Maryland state trooper that was injured. Again, this all happened around 2:30 this afternoon. Now, there's still a lot of questions surrounding this. Police did not say whether the suspect worked at that facility, what kind of relationship that suspect had with the facility. They didn't say what the motive may have been as well. And again, they did not release the condition of that trooper and of the suspect. But of course, things are still early in this investigation. A lot of questions surrounding this. But again, a recap of what happened 2:30 this afternoon, Columbia Machinery Inc., right here in Washington County. They said that there are 4 victims, 3 dead, 1 critical condition. And then we have a Maryland state trooper that's injured. Governor Hogan said it was actually shot in the shoulder. And then we have a suspect that's injured as well. Now, police said that they will provide us with updates as they continue their investigation. As soon as we get those updates, we will bring those to you all. Back to you guys in the studio.
So I guess that's going to be the most up-to-date details on that. With so we have 3 dead, 1 injured, trooper injured, and I'm wondering if they're counting the shooter. In that case, there's going to be 3 total injured, with the shooter, an employee, and the trooper. If not, then we have 5 total injured. And I was saying earlier, like, I don't really have a dog in the fight when it comes to gun control issues. I don't do weapons, but there has to be a way to be able to get a tighter rein on who has access to guns. Like, maybe instead of just running a background check on the person who is purchasing the gun, if they have other people in the house, and maybe some cursory type check on them. I mean, because we saw, like, in the Sandy Hook shooting case, where I believe the guns that he used actually belonged to his mother. And with his mental issues, I don't think he would have qualified to purchase a gun. Um, or some type of mandates for the way guns are stored, something stricter for the way guns are stored if you purchase one. Because I guess if you start running background checks on everybody in the house in order for one person to buy a gun, then you do run into a whole bunch of constitutional violations. Because, you know, why do I need the government in my business if, say, my brother wants to buy a gun? I'm not buying a gun. I don't even handle guns. So why do I need my background check run? So maybe stricter policies on what must be purchased, or proof of storage capacity owned, as far as being able to secure weapons. If it's your first weapon, required to, at a minimum, purchase a secure gun safe and lock or whatever for that weapon. If it's subsequent purchases, then you have to show some kind of proof that you have secure storage for not only what other weapons you own, but the weapon that you are purchasing additionally. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm just tossing stuff out there, you know. Um, but there has to be a way to get a better handle on this. Because when you think about it, like, people say, "Oh, it's the gangs, it's the thugs, but the truth is, when you come into gang members and street thugs or whatever that are brandishing weapons or whatever, 9 times out of 10, it's within the criminal community. The people that are getting shot is somebody they had beef with, somebody that robbed them, or they're robbing, or something like that, as far as like another drug dealer, another thug, another hood. But when it comes to things such as school shootings, the person who shot up the hospital, the shooting at the mall in Hagerstown, these aren't street hoods who are doing this. These are people doing this with legally owned guns. In the Uvalde shooting, that guy had well over 1,500 rounds of ammunition. I think they said he had something like 60 magazines, and it was legal. So that was definitely not an issue of street criminal level gun possession, illegal gun possession. Those were legally owned firearms, legally purchased ammunition. And so, not to diminish, that street violence is real, um, and it happens. Yes, criminals get guns, criminals pull crimes with guns. But when we're talking about this large scale mass shooting stuff, it's not the street level criminals. It's legally purchased, legally owned guns and ammunition. And so now, personally, the only thing I have to say about gun control is I don't understand why an average person needs military level weapons like AR-15s. And I mean, we were reading that article in the Uvalde shooting that was talking about the damage that an AR-15 can do. And it was so graphic till I just really couldn't even speak those words out loud, you know. But I don't see or understand why just a regular person like me or you would need that type of firepower, just laying around the house. A rifle, a shotgun, you know, pistols, revolvers. But I mean, war zone weaponry. Why does anybody need that? You know, um, we haven't had war on the U.S. turf aside from Civil War in quite a while, and even the Civil War was a long time ago. So it's not like we're under threat of just being, attacked in our home by crazed terrorists at any moment. So sorry about that. I don't know. I'm gonna quit talking about gun control because that's really just not even my thing. But since we're talking about like school shootings or whatever, I want to share this because this is what I want to see every single time an intruder or some armed person or some maniac decides they want to run up in a school. It says police fatally shoot, quote, potential intruder, unquote, at Alabama school. A man who tried to enter an Alabama elementary school where a summer program was being held was shot to death by police Thursday morning, authorities said. Gaston City School Superintendent Tony Reddick told reporters that a potential intruder went to several doors trying to get into Walnut Park Elementary School, where a summer literacy program was being conducted for 34 children. All the exterior doors were locked, and the principal contacted the school resource officer when she realized what was happening. The resource officer confronted a person who attempted to break into a marked Rainbow City police car near the school, according to a statement from the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency. More officers from the Gaston Police Department showed up to assist. The person was shot to death after resisting and trying to take the resource officer's gun. The statement, which did not mention any attempt to enter the school, didn't say how many shots were fired or by whom. The state identified the dead man as Robert Tyler White, 32, of Bun Level, North Carolina. Officials don't know whether the man was a passerby or something else. So here we have an instance of this dude all the way from North Carolina down in BFE, Alabama, trying to break into a school, trying to break into a police car, trying to take a cop's gun. And so I like that they did not allow a threat to get near those children. They didn't take an hour or hour and a half or 20 minutes or whatever the storyline is now in Uvalde. They didn't take unnecessary time, to allow children to be hurt or endangered. They took care of the problem. They saw that there was a problem. There's someone who's not supposed to be here who has made several attempts at several different entry points to get into this school where these innocent children are, and we're not playing that. Hold on one second. Yeah. Okay, guys. G Baby Gabs wants to say hi.
Hi.
Want to say hi, Tato? So I'm going to get off here for a little while, hang out with the G Babies for a minute, and I will pick this up later. Love you guys, and talk to you later.